Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about dual behavior of matter. Let us start our discussion with what is dual nature of matter. Sir Albert Einstein suggested that light can behave as a wave as well as like a particle. That is, it has dual behavior. In the year 1924, de Broglie extended this concept and he suggested that just as light, matter can also exhibit dual behavior. He said all microscopic particles such as electrons, protons, atoms, molecules can behave like a wave as well as like a particle. So, dual nature of matter means, in simple terms, all material particles in motion can possess wave-like nature as well as particle-like nature. To quantify this relationship, de Broglie derived the wavelength associated with the particle by relating the mass-energy relationships proposed by Max Planck and Einstein. Now let's see how to derive de Broglie's wavelength. This de Broglie's wavelength can be derived by combining mass-energy relationships proposed by Max Planck and Einstein. First, let's see what is Max Planck's theory. According to Max Planck, the amount of energy associated with the quantum of radiation is proportional to the frequency of light. So, energy of the associated with quantum, that is E, is directly proportional to frequency of light mu. When I remove the proportional symbol, we'll substitute the proportionality constant, and here that proportionality constant H is called universal constant or Planck's constant, and the value of this Planck's constant will be equal to 6.626 into 10 to power of minus 34 joule second. Next, according to Albert Einstein, mass and energy are related as E is equal to mc square, where c is the velocity of light. When we combine the above two equations, we get h nu is equal to mc square. We know mu lambda is equal to c. So, mu is equal to c by lambda. Now, we substitute mu is equal to c by lambda in the above equation. So, we get hc by lambda is equal to mc square. Cancel c. So, you get h by lambda is equal to mc. So, lambda will be equal to h by mc. This equation is valid for a photon. De Broglie suggested when I am going to substitute mass of the particle m and its velocity v in the place of velocity of light c, this equation can be applied to material particles. Thus, according to de Broglie, wavelength of material particles lambda will be equal to h by mv, and this equation we call it as de Broglie's equation. We know mass into velocity will be equal to momentum. So, de Broglie's wavelength lambda will be equal to h, that is Planck's constant, divided by momentum. So, we are coming to know this wavelength is inversely proportional to momentum. If you consider the de Broglie's wavelength, it is valid only when the particle travels at speed much less than the speed of light, and the mass of the particle should also be lesser. Therefore, though the dual nature of matter is applicable to all material objects, it is significant only for microscopic bodies. because for large bodies, the wavelength of the waves will be very small and they cannot be measured by any one of the available methods. Therefore, particularly these bodies are said to have no wavelength. Thus, any material body in motion can have wavelength, but it is measurable or significant only for microscopic bodies such as electrons, protons, atoms, or molecules. Now let us calculate the de Broglie's wavelength for an iron ball which is weighing around 6.626 kg and moving with a velocity of 10 meter per second. And next we will calculate the de Broglie's wavelength for an electron which is weighing 9.11 into 10 to power of minus 31 kg and moving with the velocity of 72.73 meter per second. Wavelength of iron ball is found to be 1 into 10 to power of minus 35 meter. This wavelength is shorter than any electromagnetic radiation and hence it cannot be measured by any known methods. Therefore, it is very difficult to grasp the idea of waves associated with the moving ball. In other words, we can say that the ball does not have waves associated with it. Similarly, we can say the large bodies are said to be associated with waves, but their wavelengths are too small, so it cannot be measured by any convenable methods. But if you consider the wavelength associated with the moving electron, it is of the same order of the other electromagnetic radiations. So they can be easily measured. So we can say microscopic particles will have both wave-like nature as well as particle-like nature.